Good time of the day. Today, I would like to answer a very interesting question that is relevant for all of us. And this is how to get rid of bad habit. And we'll do. Some of them as being mild as wasting time on the phone, or as bad as smoking, drinking, in extreme cases, drug abuse, and how to get a good habit. Many people tell me, you don't need to preach to us. We understand what we need to do. Let's say exercise, let's say change meal choices, but just it's not working out. How can we maintain this habit? This is the topic of this video.
I am someone who has been in severe pain now for, let's see, 8 years. And during those 8 years, I've got some pain relief, but never a lot of pain relief. And I was starting to get pretty hopeless. When you're in great pain for a long time, you really wonder how much you want to go on. And when you get someone who respects you, who listens to you, and who tries things that nobody else bothered to try, things start looking up, and all of life starts feeling better. And one of my great joys in life was helping other people, and I've been in too much pain to be a helper to other people. And now I look forward to getting back to life. So I really appreciate Dr. Margolan, and I think you will too.
Hi, my name is Tammy Franklin. I am a patient with Dr. Margolan. He gave me my injections for my knees, and since then I was able to do more on my exercise and rehabilitation. I'm actually now on the treadmill for 20 minutes, the bike for 20 minutes. I'm doing 10 sets of squats. It works excellent.
Hi, my name is Angie, and I've been coming here since 2011. And I've had a lot of back pain, but since I've been coming here, it's been controlled, and I'm very happy and pleased with coming to this doctor.
My name is Kenneth Gaines, and I'm here at Dr. McGloney's office, the best doctor on the planet. When I first came in here, I had so much pain I couldn't even do anything. Now I'm going fishing. I feel good about myself, self-esteem. My appetite is good. I'm sleeping good. Now I'm thinking about doing a whole lot of other things I didn't used to do. But thanks to Dr. McGloney and the medicines and this technique and the friendly people and stuff that work here made me able, plus they love me and I can't help for coming back. I feel better every day.
Dr. McGolan told me about the medication zinc, vitamin C, D, and zinc. And on the floor in the prison, 160 inmates were sick with COVID and they couldn't recover. And I told them about the vitamin C, D, and zinc, and now all of them are doing better. All of them are up and they're active, and they're all extra grateful about learning about the zinc.
I really appreciate Dr. Margolan for all of his help in getting me back in the workforce and allowing me to function back to my baseline of normal.
Well, I think it's a great question, and I think it's a challenge for everyone, but how we can, on different levels, right? But the question is, how can we make the best of it? So I'll start really few seconds with common sense things that I'm sure you heard about, like setting realistic or easy, or even some people say ridiculously easy goals, small changes, don't go back. Cue control, right? If you put a bottle of alcohol in front of alcoholic, or drugs in front of drug addict, or chocolate in front of sugar addict, it will be much difficult for this person to control the impulse and not to succumb to it. So keep away from these things and places and behaviors and so on. And I have previous videos about it. Now let me give you a little bit more advanced advice. First, I would like to review on a very oversimplified level, and we have a separate video about addictive brain. How does it work? On a simple level, we have prefrontal cortex. It's part of the cortex which is in front of our head, which is supposed to control the impulse, and we have primitive nucleus, something called dopaminergic reward system, on the lower, less organized parts of our brain. And if we strengthen our prefrontal cortex, we will increase something called willpower. And I like this book. There are several books, but if you want to read something, I mentioned the book, this Willpower Instinct. It's an interesting read. It's by Kelly McDonald. She's an acclaimed psychologist. And she basically says that, in a nutshell, that willpower is a limited resource. You should use it wisely. That's why you need to choose your challenges, and don't intentionally get yourself in a situation that you face a challenge because you have limited resources. As we say, even if you have a good tank, don't intentionally drive it from minefield, right? You build a good willpower, don't challenge it too much. Be very careful about it. But she also says interesting things, that there is some research that suggests that your heart rate variability, interestingly, which is how your heart changes from slow to fast pace, is somewhat associated with your willpower ability. I'm simplifying, read this book. And this is something that can be improved. We know about heart rate variability. We even tested in the office. It's associated with cardiac risk, but it also associated with the willpower. And we know with good meal choices, and I'll put some recommendations in the bottom of the link to this video, as well as with meditation and exercise, you can improve your heart rate variability. And it's reasonable to assume, based on this research, that willpower can be improved, in addition to other reasonable things that I discussed. That point number one. Other books that I want to suggest is something called The Tools, right? It's an interesting book, and by the way, none of this book have to be purchased. You can go to book summaries, and maybe we can put some in the brief one. There are like 5-10 minutes book summaries, and there are 30 minutes book summaries, so you can choose the one you like, and there's a whole audiobook on YouTube for free, by the way. So in this book, there are two psychotherapists, The Tools. They basically give you down-to-earth tools, how to deal with challenges. For example, they say if you're seeing like a dark cloud, like imagine your problems like dark cloud around you, and then you think about, you say out loud 5 things that that you're grateful for, and everybody should be grateful for something. If you watch this video, you can watch, you can listen. You're alive, I assume, right? I assume you have roof. I assume you have food, and you're not thirsty, and there are basic things, and they're always good to have more, but we should be all thankful for basic things as well. So you can name them, you can feel the gratitude, and this gratitude really like a beam of light that pushes through this black cloud. And they have a special tool described in this book, and that's the third one. A little bit less reviews, but I liked it too, Coming Alive. And they have this tool, how to overcome impulse. And they say that, imagine that you have this life energy, whatever you call it, and it's covered by your negativity, let's put it this way, like eclipse, like black sun, like sun covered with something, with the moon, right? Eclipse. And you should imagine, you should feel the frustration of this impulse. You should look inside you. You should really observe all the havoc that this craving, for example, or this problem caused you. And then you should imagine, visualize this black sun coming out over this problem, of this havoc, over this impulse, and then it bursts into light, white light, and this light of giving. Try to give to others. Regardless of whether you like this metaphoric expression or not, giving to others, stopping and reviewing what's going on is extremely important. And that can turn this energy into something positive, into coming out and helping others. And the last point I want to bring up, and I think Barry Michaels brings it up too, I think it's a very good point, that we just lost this concept that overcoming challenges is part of the game. I assume all of us learn to walk at some point, and if you watch a toddler learning to walk, he would see amazing thing, the toddler smiles, he falls. Most of the time he just picks himself up and try to walk again. If he hits himself really bad, herself, gets a hit, he cries for some time, sometimes bitterly, but not for too long. And then he picks up again and again and again. And finally we all walk. And if we can adopt this attitude that everybody falls sometimes, everybody has problems. Now, again, if you have clinical problems like alcohol and drugs, I'm not saying, oh, you fall sometimes. No, you need help. But even with help, sometimes it's chemical help like Suboxone or 12-step program, or, it depends, all levels of help. No, absolutely. But even with help, you sometimes fall, and that's natural. And less extreme cases, whatever it is, sugar addiction, whatever it is, gaming, phone addiction, you fall sometimes, it's natural, it's expected. So learn how to cope with it, build a skill, build a plan, build an understanding that it's part of the game. You fall, you smile, you pick yourself up. If you fall and it hurts, so you cry sometimes, but eventually you pick yourself up and go forward. And I'm sure that all of us can improve our habits. And again, thank you. It was a great question.
Okay, so close your eyes and just think of a specific situation where you typically give in to an impulse. It could be the impulse to eat, to text, to overreact to someone. That's the starting place of the tool, because you're going to use this tool the moment you feel an impulse, and you're going to deprive yourself of acting on it. So step one is feel the deprivation of not getting what you want, and feel it intensely. There's usually some frustration, maybe anger, maybe sadness or anxiety. Now let go of the thing that you want completely. And even more, forget about the whole outside world as the source of anything that's going to fill you up inside. And turn inward. That's step two. Now, a moment ago, you were feeling deprived, but now you're just looking at an inner void. It's like an endless abyss inside of you. And all that we ask is that you face it. Be calm. Be still. If anything, be curious, because you've never looked at it before, and it's part of you. Now, in step three, from the depths of this void, imagine a black sun ascending slowly. And its warm and limitless energy is expanding you internally until you become one with the black sun. And the final step is turn your attention back to the outside world. And the black sun energy overflows, surging out of you. And as it enters the world, it becomes the pure white light of infinite giving.